Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Dudu, back at it again with another banging video. In today's video, as you already see by the title, I'm going to be doing a step-by-step walk through the UCAS application. So I know a lot of people are always confused where to start, how is the form like, they just don't know. So in today's video, I'm going to be screen recording the whole process. I'm going to create an account with you guys. We're going to see the application form, the different sections, the different information you're required to fill, so that you know exactly what it is that you are going to be doing. I know a lot of people are lazy and applying to unis can be so stressful, and you just want to at least know what you're getting yourself into. So today's video is definitely going to help in that. Before we get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below to join this amazing family. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in. And without further ado, let's get straight on into today's video. So I have my laptop right here and I'm going to start recording. But before we get into it, one thing to note is that the application form has slightly changed in terms of presentation and how to access and track your application. Basically, from people applying for 2022 entry, you're going to have to create an account on the UCAS hub, student hub. That is where you're basically going to be able to track your application form. Once you send it and the university's response, that is where everything is going to happen. This is so that they avoid you having to create different portals within the university's systems and all of that. So yeah, that's something to note. And the general presentation for the application will have changed, so it's definitely different from the way it was when I applied in 2020. So yeah, I'll just show you guys, and if you just want to see how it is, this is obviously the perfect video for you. So I'm just gonna stop rambling and we're gonna get straight into it. So as you can see, I just searched for UCAS application on the Safari and a bunch of things came up. You want to go to the one of ucas.com. Obviously I am gonna leave a link down below where you can go straight into it. So students sign in and then you'll see all these different applications. We are going to be doing for 2022 entry. We want to create an account because we don't have an account yet. So 2020, create an account. So this is basically what you do when you're creating any type of account anywhere. So far it's just simple. And then we have here, hello C220. If you didn't know, that is my full name. We've got 4 steps to help you find all the right information. Okay, ready? Which year do you want to start? So obviously you want to put where you want to start, and in my case I'm going to put 2022. Select a level of study, undergraduate. Would you like additional information on this? Personally, you can if you want, but I'm just gonna click next. Where do you live? I'm going to put Zimbabwe because this is going to be specifically helpful for international students. So I'm gonna put Zimbabwe. Stay up to date with this, and I'm only gonna click no because I'm not actually applying, but if you would like, click yes. So I'll quickly just let you guys watch me fill in everything so that you speed up the process. Okay, so when it comes to entering your school or college, you might find that your school is not there, and that was the case for me. So in this case, you'd have to say you can't find your college, and then you manually enter it. So make sure you get the spellings right and everything. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so this is basically what we filled so far. I'm not going to put a phone number for now, but so far it's just you entering information that's going to tailor make all the next processes for you and make sure there's no sections that don't link to you probably being like an international student. So anything about, you know, fees and like student funding for UK students will not be in like your next steps. So I'm gonna just click account, and then we have welcome to your hub. Very user friendly. These are the updates I was talking about. It looks very aesthetically pleasing and it just looks right. We have all of this that you can get into when you do your application, and then we have all of that. Great. So as you can see, there's so much that is going on in this hub, and it makes it easy for you to see, you know, your deadlines. If you have questions, you can see frequently asked questions. There's a lot for you to see here, but the application where we want to go to is right here. Application for 2022 is currently unavailable. There's probably like some service going on, as it says, so I guess I'll just, you know, come back to you guys when the application form is there. But for now, as you can see, it's really just a simple process until you get to this point. So I'll catch you guys probably in like 2 seconds, but it's gonna be the next day for me. So you guys, it is now the next day, and going straight into it, I have opened the hub here, as you can see, and where it says your application, there is now this application thing you can go into. And so I have already like opened it and done a few things, that's why it says 9%, but if it's your first time opening it, it's going to have the start. So I'm gonna go ahead and click in the application section, and it will take you to your application. So this is basically your entire application broken down into different sections. So you can see here we have choices, profile, personal statement, reference, and then the overview percentage. So once you complete all the different sections, it'll have 100% here, and then you'll be able to review and submit your application. That's where you basically pay and do everything. So going straight into it, we will start with choices. So as you can see, they've made it really nice and organized here. So you can come here, click add choice, and here quickly search for an institution. For example, I can do King's College London, search for a course, computer science, right there, whichever one, and then the location, start date, and then we have this further details section. Don't worry about that unless there's a specific place that asks you to add further details. Then we have point of entry. This is basically whether you're starting at foundation level, first year, second year, if you're going to transfer, and all of that. And for most people, it's going to be first year. So I'm going to do that. Live at home. Most probably, if you're an international student, you're going to say no, and then save that. So there we are. I had already done one over here, and now we have 2 choices. So as it says over here, you can add up to 5 choices, and remember, for 1 choice it's £22.50, and for up to 5 it is £26. So now I know you might not know what course you want to study and all that. They have made a nice little search area over here, where if you click it, you're brought to this page where you can type in your course. I'm just gonna click write computer science. It comes up over here, undergraduate level, click the year, and then click go. So what this brings you to is a page where you have all these different universities and the type of computer science degrees they have. So here they're listed in alphabetical order. So if you have no idea which university you want, you can absolutely use the search option, and if you click on one of them, it brings you to the page where it gives you all the information about that course, what's taught during that course, and you know, everything you need to know, point of entry, entry requirements, which I think is a very important place to come, because sometimes we forget that yes, you might want to go to uni, but you need to meet those requirements. So it's a good place to come here and just to see what the entry requirements are, additional requirements, English language requirements. So everything you need to know is over here. Tuition. So as you can see, I really advise that you use this search option. Even the locations here, the contact details, the link to the websites are also over here. So if you want to see it and know more about it, you can basically, you know, come from here. So yeah, that's a very important and I think a very useful search option, this thing over here that you can use before you come and add your choices. So obviously you have up to 5 choices, and I've done 2 over here, and that's why the progress bar says that. So now moving swiftly along to my profile. we have these different sections over here. They've nicely broken down the old large personal details section into these subcategories, and I think that's really helpful, and like it really makes things a lot easier. So we're gonna start with personal details. So in personal details, it's very simple. Just you, your name, previous names if you have gotten married or changed name where like you have documents that had a different name at some point. Just add that. Preferred name, for example, I'd have Dudu, your date of birth, gender, and then when you're done with everything, you can click a mark section as complete. And what this does is it will give you this green section. It will make this green and give it a tick to say, you know, you have completed that. And then we're going to move along to contact and residency details. This again, as the title said, contact and residency details, your phone number, other telephone numbers, your email address, your the address type. Obviously, if you're an international student, you'll go with non-UK address. This will allow you to put your whole address as you will not have a postcode. And then you can add your country and all of that. This is basically what this section has. And next, we're going to move on to education. So when it comes to education, you can add all the different high schools, or you know, if you went to university and you're actually doing postgrad, you can add all of that in the section. So for example, add place of education, you will search for your school over here. Add the exam center. Okay, I'll do my old school, but I already added it. If your school's not there, again, don't worry about it. Make sure you just add it correctly with the correct spellings. So this was my school. And then when it comes to exam center number, it depends. If you did exams in your school and you did like Cambridge exams, for example, I did, you will know the center number from writing exams. So for example, I know mine was ZW some number, so you just add that there. It makes it easy for them to access this through Cambridge. And then month, start date, this is when you started at that school, so whenever it was. End date, again, also just whenever that was. And probably you should not put a date in there. We have type of study, most probably it's going to be full-time. And then do you or will you have any qualifications from the center? So if you have written like old exams, like maybe your IGCSEs or other like lower level than your final level, you can add that. Or even if you are yet to write your final exams at that institution, then obviously you want to say yes and then save. So once you've added your college or school, you'll have here this little button that says add qualifications, and you're going to quickly click on that. And this is where we're going to start adding all the qualifications that you had. So obviously they have like a few over here that most people will have, and if you're an international student, most of the time yours is not going to be there, and so we're going to come here and search for it. So for example, here we can search for, let me search for international A levels, Cambridge International A levels. Already we have it over here. And then once you click that, you can add the subject type and select the subject you studied. So for example, let's just say computer science. Okay, because I put different dates, the codes are different, but make sure you look on your certificate or your statement of entry if you haven't written, and put the correct ones where there's the correct code, subject code. And then qualification date, you can add whenever it was. So for example, like that. And then awarding organization, this was mine, CAIE, grade, then you add your grade because you already have them there. If your qualification date is in the future, obviously you're going to have to click pending over here. And in my case, I put that I graduated in 2018, so that's why it's not letting me select any date further than that. But if you're going to graduate, like for example, since we're applying for 22, so if we have 2022, it will allow me to put 2022, and then you can put pending. If it's like a different module or whatever, you can select all of this, but mine personally, I only had to fill in that. And then you can save and add another, so you can do that for each and every one of your subjects that you did. So for me, it was computer science, and then accounting, and then math. So I did that for all of them. For IGCSE as well, I just listed all of them. It does take a bit of time, but basically you need to do it. So yeah, that's basically how you go about with the education section. So for me, it's complaining because I put pending and that's impossible. So let's just put a B here and then say save qualification. So now when you come over here, we have the school, the time you were there. Then we have the subject over here with the grade. If you have more, it will just all be listed there. And that's basically how it goes with the education section. And then when it comes down here, we have this. As you can read, most people won't have it if you're not in the UK. Please state the highest level of qualification. Again, it will depend on where you are. Most of the time, if you're coming from high school, it's going to be below honors degree level, and that's what I had. And yeah, so moving along to employment. So when it comes to employment, it depends. You don't have to have employment. When I was applying, I had never worked anyway, so I personally was able to just come and say, you know, mark the section complete without adding anything, and that's perfectly fine. But if you do, you can come here and, you know, we have all of this that needs to be added: start date, part-time or full-time, and, you know, basically simple things. And that is how that whole employment section is. And then we're going to move again to nationality details, and this is basically about you. Again, basic information that you don't have to think about: country of birth, nationality, dual nationality, and then mark the section complete. Again, nothing really to it. We move along to supporting information. We have here, have you ever lived or worked in the EU excluding the UK? Yes or no, yes or no. If you have relatives or whatever who are in the EU, again, we have that. And then we have disability. We have all these options. If you have a disability, you can, like, you know, select whichever one applies to you, and then you can, you know, describe it if it's like specific in any way, and you have this whole section. And yeah, again, nothing really to it. So now we move along to English language skills. So in English language skills, we have this first prompt: is English your first language? So this is going to depend on where you're from. I personally, English actually was my first language, but this is just for the application. Once you do get a place, you may still be asked for this different test and whatnot. And if English is not your first language here, you will be asked to, you know, add your test results depending on whichever one you did, whether it's TOEFL or the IELTS. And if English is the first language, basically just say yes, mark the section complete, and save. And that's basically it with the English language section. So now finance and funding. I know I'm like moving really quickly, but I'm just trying to like make this video short and sweet but still show you everything. So in finance, again, we have this simple ask: what will be your main source of funding? And this is the main source of funding, as you can see. So whichever one, we have private finance, where they're going to get scholarships, different other things, and then not known, you know, sometimes you don't know, and then basically mark the section complete. So again, very easy. They really just broke down one large section and grouped into small things, so you can feel like, you know, accomplished every single section that you do. Second last, we have personal statement, and this is where you're going to put your entire personal statement. As you can see, between 1,000 and 4,000 characters. This is where you're going to put it. You don't have to type it in here. You can obviously write it in a text editor and then copy it and paste it onto here. And they have a guide for you actually, which is great. So once you click that, it brings you to this page where, you know, they have a lot to help you in terms of your writing of the personal statement. And I really do advise that you come here because, you know, this is UCAS actually giving you the information. So obviously it is correct and whatnot. You can obviously watch other people's videos, mine if you want, just to like get a perspective of another person who's written it. But when it comes to just, you know, the facts, I think it's really important that you actually, you know, come to this UCAS page and see what they have to say. And yeah, that's basically it with, you know, the personal statement. And finally, we have a reference. So reference, a lot of people ask me, do I need to have a reference? And the answer is you don't need to, but you do. I don't know how to explain that, but basically, as you can see here, it says that if you have an agreement with the university or wherever you're going and they say you do not need a reference, you can click over here and you don't need to add it. But if you're anyone else, you need to add at least one reference. So as you can see, we have here full title and name of referee, job title, organization, and this can be, the organization can be like your school if it's a teacher or a head teacher, or like a principal, or like the company you worked at if it's like a, you know, an advisor or whatever it is, the address of the organization or the school, whatever it is, the phone, the email. Now when it comes to the email, it's very important that you put the correct email for that person, because the UCAS is going to email the referee the whole form that they fill in as a reference. So you only need to fill in all these details and then, you know, request reference, and then what they're going to do is send that to them, and you won't see anything else that happens. When the referee completes the reference for you, that's when the section is going to be complete. So again, stay on top of your referee, make sure they're doing it, because you really don't have control of that. And so yeah, that's basically the whole application. So as you can see, we've gone through all the different sections, and when you complete everything, these bars are going to, you know, fill up until you've completed everything. And it's really quite a straightforward and simple process as you can see, and they've made it really nice and user-friendly. The whole, you know, interface, it's so aesthetically pleasing, and it actually wasn't this way when I applied. If you applied before, you would know. But yeah, going back to the home section, I do want to show you guys a bit that is on the hub. So you guys saw in the beginning, the hub has a lot of helpful and important information. So we have events, like online events that can be happening that could help you, online tours, campus tours that you can attend and, like, you know what, you can go ahead and favorite different universities over here. They've made it really like an application where you can like customize a lot of things, and I really think that's going to be helpful. And I think it's something that is worth like getting into and, you know, trying to actually use every single part of it. And you go down, explore your future and whatnot. They have different things. We have this important section, personal statement builder. You guys, I did not realize this was there, and I think this is the most amazing thing that they put in this new version of, you know, the UCAS application. So if you click here, personal statement builder, you will get a whole thing that gives you different prompts that will help you write the personal statement. So we have all these questions. Why are you applying? Why does the subject interest you? Why do you think you're suitable for this course? All this, and these are all the things that will help you in writing your personal statement, and, you know, just give you, it will tell you what you need to include in it. Do you get? So yeah, I really think this is important, and this will really help you in writing your personal statement. So make sure you check it out when you are doing your application. And then again, we have here the notes. You can write different things, dates and deadlines, questions, frequently asked questions, find your accommodation, and, you know, all these different things. So yeah, that is the hub and that is the application. So yeah, that basically means we have come to the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I wanted to show you guys every single little thing that might be confusing, and also just for you to see the application. If you are thinking about applying to the UK and you're not exactly applying for, you know, the next section, just create an account, play around with things and see everything that goes around, just so you know exactly what it is you're getting into when you are applying. So if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer those. If you've come all the way to the end of the video and you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below to join this amazing family, and don't forget to hit the post notification so you are notified every single time that I post a new video. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.